to yet another leadership. Let's welcome Mr. Kazim Raza Khan, CEO, IL&FS Engineering and Construction Company Limited. Very warm and hearty welcome, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, business leaders, entrepreneurs, academicians, scholars, students, and distinguished. Today I am here to speak on future of infrastructure and sustainable growth. It's a privilege to stand here at Oxford, a university whose very stones have absorbed centuries of human curiosity and reform. Oxford is more than an institution. It's a reminder that the greatest revolutions begin not in factories or parliaments, but in minds that dare to imagine differently. Before I begin, allow me to introduce the institution I have the honor of representing, IL&FS Engineering and Construction Company Limited, or you can say IECC. For about 3 decades, IL&FS Engineering has stood among India's foremost infrastructure enterprises, delivering complex transformative projects across a wide spectrum: roads, metros, railways, buildings, irrigation, oil and gas, and power. Not only across India, but across a wide spectrum: roads, metros, railways, buildings, irrigation, oil and gas, and power. Not only across India, but also in Middle East. We have been privileged to be part of India's remarkable growth journey, from carving tunnels in Himalayas to laying oil and gas pipelines in South, from building infrastructures and transmission lines in Gujarat to highways in the East, from shaping urban infrastructure in capital city, New Delhi, to constructing dams and irrigation systems in southern states. And through every challenge, one belief has remained at the heart of everything we do, that infrastructure is not merely a business, it's a nation building mission. Today, we gather to discuss the future of infrastructure and sustainable growth. But what is infrastructure really? It's not just the concrete and steel that shape our skylines. It is invisible framework that holds together our societies. The bridges that shortens distances, the highways that connect hope, the power grids that illuminate opportunity. Infrastructure is in truth the soul of progress. It is how civilizations express their ambition and how they secure their legacy. From the Roman aqueducts to the British railways, from the ancient irrigation canals of Mesopotamia to the digital highways of the modern world, every era has built its destiny through infrastructure. But history also teaches us that not all growth is equal. For centuries, humanity measured progress in miles, towers raised, and power generated. Yes, today we stand at a turning point, a time when we must ask, are we building a world that will outlast us or overwhelm us? The future demands a shift in mindset, from growth at any cost to the growth with concerns, from expansion of numbers to expansion for nurture. We must move from infrastructure that dominates nature to infrastructure that coexists with it. When I look at the next generation of global infrastructure, I see it resting firmly on 3 pillars: resilience, digitalization, and inclusion. Climate change is no longer a distant problem. It's a present truth. We have seen cities paralyzed by floods, power grids collapse in heat waves, and roads washed away by the very rivers they once crossed. Tomorrow's infrastructure must not just withstand these challenges, it must adapt to them. Imagine highways that absorb storm water instead of reflecting it, building that produces more energy than they consume, industrial zones that recycle every drop of wastewater. Resilience is not a technical specification, it's a moral obligation to design for generations we will never meet. The second pillar is technology, the new cement of construction. Artificial intelligence, IoT, and digital twins are rewriting how we plan and operate infrastructure. In the past, we built and repaired. In the future, we will predict and prevent. So digitalization brings accountability, transparency, and foresight. It helps governments manage assets better and helps communities demand better performance. But more importantly, it humanizes data because every data point is a life depending on that infrastructure. And the third pillar, perhaps the most important, is inclusion. Because infrastructure that doesn't serve anyone serves no one. A rural road that connects a farmer to a market, a metro that helps a working woman, working mother to reach home safely, a bridge that links a remote village to a hospital. These are not engineering feats alone, they are acts of empowerment. The real measure of progress is not in megawatts or kilometers, but in lives transformed. Friends, as we look towards the future, it is impossible not to recognize that the center of gravity for global infrastructure is shifting. The global south, from India to Africa, from Latin America to Southeast Asia, is witnessing a renaissance of development. For these nations, infrastructure is not just about modernity, it's about mobility, dignity, and equality. In India, a road through Rajasthan is more than an asphalt. It is passage to education, health, and employment. In Zambia, a solar farm is more than a power project. It is independence from darkness. In the Middle East, a green hydrogen corridor is more than an energy investment. It is commitment to planetary balance. On the next decade, these regions will see the largest human-driven transformation in history. Handled wisely, it will not only bridge continents, it will bridge inequality itself. But the trillion-dollar question remains, who will pay for this future? Traditional funding models alone will not suffice. We must rethink finance itself, for a vehicle of profit to a partner of purpose. Public-private partnerships are one piece, green bonds and ESG-linked funds are another. But the larger transformation lies in aligning capital with conscience. Investors and institutions must look beyond quarterly returns towards long-term social dividends. As I often say, the world does not need more builders, it needs more believers. Believers who see sustainability not as an obligation but as an opportunity. Imagine a future where every infrastructure dollar also regenerates forests, educates children, and restores rivers. That is when finance becomes transformative, not transactional. Allow me, if I may, a moment of reflection on our own country, India's own journey. A journey from resolution to research. In the last decade, India has redefined its infrastructure landscape. The Gati Shakti mission, the National Infrastructure Pipeline, and the push for green and digital corridors remain one of the most ambitious transformations in our history. We have built highways that knit together distant states, metros that redefine urban mobility, and renewable energy projects that speak to our environmental responsibility. Our belief has remained constant. Every structure must serve society long after it had served its contract. The future of infrastructure cannot be built by engineers alone. It will take a coalition of concerns. Governments, corporations, academia, and citizens. Each must play a role in shaping this sustainable horizon. This is where universities like Oxford have an extraordinary role, because infrastructure is no longer purely technical discipline. It is a human one. We need economists, environmentalists, data scientists, social reformers, and urban philosophers all working together. To the young generations in this hall, you are the generation that will design not just the next bridge or smart city, but the very ethics of how we build. Step into the field. See how technology meets human need. Because innovation doesn't always come from the lab. Sometimes it comes from a dusty construction site, where a worker mixes not just concrete, but hope. So let me end with a thoughtful thought that has guided my own journey. Our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, once said, "The future depends on what we do today." If that is true, then what we build today in thought, in steel, in spirit, will define not only our cities, but our civilization. So let us build bridges that endure beyond our lifetimes, roads that lead to equality, and foundations strong enough to hold the dreams of generations to come. Let us build not just infrastructure, but a legacy. Thank you, Brand Vista Consulting, for organizing the next economic forum, and for bringing together business leaders, entrepreneurs, academicians, and students. I am truly grateful for the opportunity to speak here in Oxford and share my views on future of infrastructure and sustainable growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Request to kindly stay back, and could we have Dr. Satya to please join us and present a certificate of participation, and how truly, sir, you just said it was so heartwarming to hear it from you. Ladies and gentlemen, not just build concrete, but actually build hopes. Build a foundation that is really kind of strong, the generations to come. And that's such an amazing thought to leave us on. Thank you so much for leaving us all on such a hopeful note.